I want to give it up for our enormous welcome to our incredible guest speaker, Brandice Daniel. Brandice is the founder and chief executive officer of Harlem's Fashion Row, the groundbreaking agency she established in 2007 to champion designers of color. HFR has forged landmark collaborations with some of the world's most iconic brands, including Nike, LVMH, Tommy Hilfiger, Tiffany & Company, Jimmy Choo, Timberland, Gap, Abercrombie & Fitch, Banana Republic, American Girl, Janie and Jack, and Peanuts. Among her most celebrated partnerships is the Nike LeBron James x HFR collaboration, which produced a limited edition shoe that sold out in under 5 minutes. I mean, that's really awesome. In 2020, Daniel founded Icon 360, a nonprofit organization that has donated over $1 million to HBCU fashion departments and Black designers across the country. She is a sought-after thought-of leader and facilitator who has led dream sessions and corporate programming for industry powerhouses, including TikTok, PVH, and H&M. And she has been featured on the Naughty Pod, as well as in the New York Times, Harper's Bazaar, and Vogue. You might have heard of that. Daniel earned her BS in fashion marketing from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, and her second BS in international trade and marketing from FIT. Give it up for my alum here, people. Her trailblazing career has been recognized with numerous honors, including the FIT Outstanding Alumni Award in 2022, the AdColor Innovator Award, the Foot News Achievement Award for Social Impact, the Impact Award of the Year at Essence's Best in Black Fashion Awards, and a place on Ebony's Power 100 Breakthrough Creators list. She is also, and this is the most important job, a proud wife and mother, and living example of what it looks like to build with purpose, lead with vision, and never stop dreaming. Please give it up for the amazing Brandice Daniel.
Thank you so much. How are you guys feeling? Feeling good? Good. I'm so excited to be here. I saw all my ITM people out there. Yes. To President Jason Schubach, thank you so much for inviting me to speak. I also want to thank former President Joyce Brown for being such a meaningful supporter of mine. To the Board of Trustees, thank you. To distinguished faculty and staff, proud families and friends, and to the amazing parents who didn't force their child to go into law or medicine, but believed in the dream. And most importantly, to you, the graduates. Now, if I can be honest, I was actually gonna let AI write this speech today. But I thought no, because they didn't ask AI to come speak. They asked me, Brandice Daniel. Graduates, this is not the beginning of your journey. This is a continuation. You didn't just arrive here, you fought to be here. So right now, I want you to think of just one thing that you've overcome to get to this moment. Just one. Because I need you to see something clearly. Do you know who you are? Do you know how special you are? And because you are so special, you have a responsibility. It feels like just the other day, I was sitting in Memphis, Tennessee, which is where I'm from, and I had no fashion connections, no job offers, no New York apartment, and no money for first month's, last month's, help me say it, and security deposit, right. But I had a dream, a real one. The kind you can't shake, the kind that doesn't leave you alone. So I applied here to FIT. And I remember the day that the letter came. I opened it and it said, not accepted. And I just sat there. Because when you have already decided something, that kind of no, it hits different. It's not just rejection. It feels like maybe I was wrong about myself. But here's what I've learned. Once you've made a decision, a no does not cancel it. It just forces you to ask a different question. Not why me, but how do I get there anyway? So I tried again. I flew to New York. I walked onto that campus. I sat across from someone who had the power to say yes, and I tried to prove that I belong. And it did not work. rejected again. But something happened every time I stepped onto that campus. I felt something. I felt like I belonged, even when nothing said that I did. So I sought some advice, and someone told me about a new major at the time, international trade and marketing. And that changed everything, because sometimes the answer is not to give up. It's to try a different way. So I applied again, and this time it said, accepted. Graduates, I know that there were times along your journey when you thought, I just might not finish. When you thought, maybe I'm not good enough, smart enough, ready enough. And I know you got up over and over when life was pulling you down. And I know that some of you turned in a paper when you really just wanted to turn up. Right? Y'all with me? But you're here, and that means everything. About my 9th year of business, I was being interviewed by Ruth LaFurla from the New York Times for Harlem's Fashion Row's 10th annual fashion show and style awards. And I remember thinking, this is the best year of my life, until it wasn't. A sponsor that I was counting on backed out. So I thought, it's okay. I'll go reach out to some other brands and see who else can come on board. And every one of those brands told me no. So I pulled together just enough money on credit cards to make it happen. And then on the day of the show, it rained. And where was the show? Outside, y'all know. And I remember as the rain came down and as we were honoring Spike Lee, I started to question everything. The business, my purpose, this dream. And in that moment, I prayed and I said, God, I think this is what I'm supposed to do, but if it's what I'm supposed to do, I need you to show me a sign, anything. I really want a collaboration, something small. When things get hard, you're going to be tempted to stop dreaming. But the only way through hard moments is to keep dreaming anyway. About 2 months later, I got an email asking about a call for a potential collab. And I almost ignored it, because when you're in a low place, you don't always trust good things. But I decided to take the call. And it was Marissa Nance on the other end. And she said something that I'll never forget. She said, I've been watching you, not your big moments, not how you showed up. And nobody tells you that part. You think that people are only going to pay attention when something big happens. But most of the time, they've been quietly watching your consistency. Not just who you are when it's working, but who you are when it's not. So when it feels like nothing is happening, something is building. So she asked me to sign an NDA. And when the document came through, it had a swoosh on it. A swoosh. Marissa had recommended us to Melanie August, one of the top Black women executives at Nike, who had an idea for a collaboration based on something that an athlete had said. And that athlete, LeBron James. And what came out of that collab was a shoe that sold out in less than 5 minutes and 7 billion press impressions. So everything that I thought was not working, it was actually working. Every setback was preparation. Every challenge gave me the tools. And all of those no's were training me for the yes. When I was here at FIT, I had a professor, Professor Josh Green, who's here today. And he didn't treat us like students. He treated us like we already belonged. He told me one day, Brandice, you're gonna be so successful, you're gonna have a building named after you here. He saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself yet. So today, let me be that voice for you. But I need you to hear it from yourself. So when I do this to the top of your lungs, I need you to say, if not me, who? When I look at you, I see founders of Fortune 500 companies and some of the most innovative fashion brands in the world. I see CEOs and top executives of major fashion brands. I see creative directors shaping culture. I see you walking into rooms and shifting them. I see you breaking barriers for the next generation of FIT graduates. And when that moment comes, and when the door opens, and when your name is called, do not shrink. Step into it. And when it gets hard, you keep dreaming. And when it gets quiet, you keep showing up. And when you doubt yourself, remember who you are. You are a graduate of FIT. You are not just entering the future of fashion, but you all are going to shape it. Say it with me one last time. If not me, who? Congratulations to the class of 2026. Y'all did that.